Good afternoon, Peugeot executives and CEOs Carlos Tavares and Larry Dominique. We would like to thank you for the opportunity today to present our marketing strategy to conquer the U.S. automobile industry. My name is Lexi, and today I am joined with my marketing colleagues from 808 Consulting Group, Ginny, Christian, Jake, and Brendan. First, we will be going over the executive summary, followed by examining the problems Peugeot faces while entering the U.S. market. Secondly, we will conduct a market analysis examining the industry, customer, and competitive analysis for Peugeot. Next, we will be going over our recommendations and campaign suggestions to address Peugeot's key challenges. Finally, we will be discussing our approximate timeline for implementation and risk mitigation. As one of the largest car makers in Europe, there is no doubt that Peugeot is an important player in the emerging European market. However, Peugeot has not successfully expanded to the US market, where an estimated 17 million vehicles are sold a year. Peugeot's entry into the US automobile industry has been a challenge due to a highly competitive market dominated by big-name car manufacturers. Peugeot also faces issues regarding product, price, place, and promotion. Currently, Peugeot lacks a competitive advantage in the U.S. automobile industry and needs distribution connections in order to compete. After careful analysis into the U.S. car retail market, our team believes Peugeot can become a major player using our drive strategy and creating a reliable and affordable car in the eyes of a consumer. The drive strategy targets the key goals of developing an extensive distribution network to sell their vehicles and provide maintenance and service when needed through establishing connections with market dominator Fiat Chrysler automobiles. This connection will help Peugeot re-enter the US market. Peugeot will also offer promotional incentives in order to entice customers to buy or lease a Peugeot car during the current economic recession. Peugeot will promote their EV and hybrid vehicles by highlighting how consumers will save money and the environment by rarely or never having to purchase gas. Lastly, Peugeot already established Freedom Move brand will be expanded upon with the global expansion across many US cities. As Peugeot enters the US market, they must address four main issues involving place, competition, product and price, and promotion. In regards to place, Peugeot faces the issue of finding a showroom in the US with a location easily accessible to customers in an area that is compatible with the brand. A suburban industrial area would cost less, but would not convey the image a showroom in a city center that would align more with Peugeot's brand. Not only will Peugeot require showroom space, but they will also need locations for maintenance, workshops, and business offices. Another problem that Peugeot will encounter is a highly competitive US car industry, where major car manufacturers rarely achieve net profits of 10%. Peugeot will need to position themselves carefully in the US market in order to see growth. In regards to place and promotion, renting showrooms, space for maintenance and workshops, and business offices in the US will cost significant capital expenditures and lots of inventory. Additionally, American consumers perceive Peugeot's brand as low quality and have failed to win over the American mid-range car buyer. Lastly, Peugeot shows no promotional efforts in entry into the US market. Peugeot will need a strong and enticing marketing campaign in order to successfully enter this market.
Peugeot has been doing an outstanding job in the European market, making 74 billion euros in revenues by 2018. However, on top of the previously mentioned problems, one of the main weaknesses is its high dependency in the European market. To counteract the stagnant sales in Europe, Peugeot must expand to the US market, one of the biggest car markets in the world. Fortunately, North America PSA has very strong leadership, with Larry Dominique as the CEO. His grounded management approach, along with his strong habit of supporting innovation and regularly strengthening differentiated skill sets, are one of the driving factors that help Peugeot stand out from the crowd. Mr. Dominique also has an open mindset and constantly challenges the status quo, which will allow Peugeot to hit the ground running when entering the US market. In addition to strong leadership, Peugeot's debt to asset ratio is phenomenal. With gross asset of 7.05 billion and debt of only 1.2 billion, their debt to asset ratio is only 0.16, much better than what investors would normally want, which is a ratio between 0.3 to 0.6. Next, Peugeot has strong brand image in Europe as they were ranked the most reliable car in the UK and awarded the most dependable small car. Lastly, Peugeot has a strong track record of innovation and R&D, as demonstrated by being one of the top 3 French patent filers for 10 consecutive years. Their EV technology is also extremely superior, as they invested 5.909 million in R&D in 2019. Next, I'll pass it on. Next is the external analysis. After the horrors of the COVID-19 pandemic, the current economic situation is not in good shape. Annual inflation rate is 9.1%. The stock markets have been extremely volatile. Gas prices have hit record highs and interest rates are rising in order to combat the high inflation rate. Due to all of these factors, we're currently in an economic slowdown, and this may become a recession soon. With these economic uncertainties, consumer sentiment in the US is declining. People are becoming more price sensitive and are reducing discretionary spending. On the other hand, due to the high gas prices, the increased awareness of climate change, and the passing of the climate bill, as well as EV tax credits, demand for EV vehicles have skyrocketed, which is something Peugeot can take advantage of.
The top competitors for Peugeot's entry into the US are the big 3, GM, Toyota, and Ford. Also factored in is Tesla, the leading electric vehicle manufacturer. GM has a market share of 15.2% and profits of 10 billion in 2021. Customers in the US know GM for its versatility in offering both luxury brands such as Cadillac and more affordable options such as Chevrolet. Toyota has a market share of 15.5% and 2021 profits of 23 billion, and consistently ranks high in reliability scores. Ford has a market share of 12.6% with 17.9 billion in profits. Ford's slogans such as "Built Ford Tough" and "Go Further" solidify its positioning of their cars being known for their performance. Finally, in the EV market is Tesla. The EV market has a 15.5% market share, with Tesla owning 69.95% of that, and its profits at 5.5 billion. Tesla is known as the premier electric vehicle manufacturer in the US and currently dominates the market. Moving on to the target market, Peugeot has positioned itself as a reliable semi-luxury car at an affordable price. The optimal target for Peugeot's image are the newly established professionals or the older millennials. We define older millennials as those ages 30 to 41 who are in the workforce and currently make more than 70,000 in annual income. This is the optimal market since these individuals are more established in their career and have steady incomes to invest in more than just a standard affordable car. Older millennials often look for practicality, stylishness, affordability, and the inclusion of current tech when choosing cars to buy, features Peugeot can fulfill with its line of electric SUVs.
On top of taking competitors and economic slowdown into account when expanding to the US market within the next few years, the COVID-19 pandemic has also changed purchasing behavior and purchasing criteria for the long term. In terms of online shopping, more and more people have become accustomed to purchasing online. Millennials are leading the way in shifting spending online across both essential and non-essential items. Gen X has also experienced a similar online shift, although not at the same scale as millennials. There has also been an increased use in social media that influenced consumer buying habits as well. Furthermore, brand loyalty has plummeted. Shoppers have cited a number of reasons for switching brands. 36% of customers have been trying new products, and 73% intend to continue incorporating new brands into their life. This is good news for Peugeot as they are entering the US market. Lastly, a shifting focus on purchasing criteria has appeared. With more focus on availability, convenience, and value. Therefore, Peugeot should take into consideration the trend of becoming homebodies and the importance of being an omni-channel retailer, meaning they should increase their online presence as well as create more in-person infrastructures.
Options we considered are scored based on virality, or the ability for the option to have high audience reach and effectiveness, positioning, or the ability for the option to align with Peugeot's brand image, and scalability, or the ability for the option to grow Peugeot's US brand and revenue. Online car ordering has high ratings in all factors due to consumer desire for an easier car buying experience. Offering a risk reduction incentive scores high in viability and positioning due to consumer needs during uncertain times. The option of expanding the free to move in the US has high ratings since it is an already established successful entity in the US, and scaling it further would be beneficial in furthering the Peugeot brand in the US. Marketing Peugeot's current line of electric vehicles in the US also scores high because the world is trending towards using electric vehicles. And with Peugeot's electric vehicles being stylish and affordable and technical at an average price of $35,000, this suits Peugeot's goals well. Offering a luxury car line was not considered because while luxury cars are great at improving a brand image, they are not affordable or accessible to a large number of the people in the US. Rally cars is another option considered but passed upon. Peugeot internationally has a line of rally cars which would be a unique way of entering the US market, but in the US, the rally car scene is very small and almost non-existent, making distribution efforts difficult. Finally, the option of hosting car giveaways was an option that creates high reach with Peugeot's audience, but was deemed unviable due to low positioning and scalability scores.
So for recommendations, we have a few. Electric and hybrid is our first, as Peugeot has two fully functioning EV SUVs, the E208 and the E2008. We believe that these price points of $35,000 are great because Tesla Model Ys are now the globally in the list of 10 most sold cars in the world, meaning that there is 10 cars sold globally the most, and Tesla Model 3 is in there at their price point range of about $35,000. So we believe that our direct competitor at Tesla at $35,000 will be the best price point to go in at when we introduce electric and hybrid cars. We also believe that online custom car ordering, they will tailor to your custom car orders, and we believe that this is unique because it will create a space that's easy to buy your car, as well as it can be uniquely made to your specific spec, and it's very just interesting to do. And when you buy a new car and you go to the catalog and you get to pick out what you want exactly. Now we have our FCA partnership with the Fiat, already having distribution networks in place through their Europe network. So we believe that as Fiat sends cars from Europe to the US, we will use that same distribution network to send cars to the US from Europe, therefore using the same dealerships as Fiat through our FCA partnership. This just makes distribution network a lot easier. This solves our issue of entering the US market once we do partner with Fiat and the FCA partnership. Now we believe that Peugeot Premier Policy is something that will give us the edge. So we have, if you lose your job or can provide proof of loss of income, Peugeot will buy the car back. We have special policies in place up to $7,500 of the car's value within the first year of you losing your job. Next slide. Now we have our custom car configuration online. You will see the E208 SUVs, and you can pick your trim level. These all have different ones, including your wheel spec, your headlight spec, as well as the grille emblems. We also have interior trim options such as suede and leather. We also have standard colors, metallic, or special colors, and we believe that the more special the car is, the more price will go up. But this will all be very unique to the person. So these are our EV cars with 53 miles per gallon, which is actually higher than Toyota as well, another direct competitor. Next slide. Now we have our partnering with influencers. We picked these three top influencers from YouTube. as we believe that they will provide the best marketing for our curated customer segment. So firstly, we have Scotty Kilmer. Scotty Kilmer is a YouTube influencer with 5.19 million subscribers. He is all about reliability. He kind of caters towards the millennial and the more reliable and best bang for your buck kind of car. And we believe that Peugeot is in line directly with Scotty Kilmer's types of cars that he likes to review. He reviews all kinds of cars, and he will speak the truth on honest truth of cars. And we believe that with Peugeot's reliability, we will believe that Scotty Kilmer will align himself with our values and give us that positive review that we are looking for. Now moving on to Doug DeMuro. Doug DeMuro loves quirky, kind of interesting cars, and that's the types of cars that get the best views. And he is the best at nitpicking every single thing. And Peugeots are the most quirky, as we believe that they haven't been seen in the US and will finally be reintroduced, and they will have the most quirks and features of the European market. Now, with Doug DeMuro having 4.45 million subscribers, he gets tens of millions of views on his YouTube, and he is all about reliability. He loves a fast, nice, luxurious car, but he also has his types of quirkiness that he touches upon in every single video, and we believe that Peugeot is going to be highlighted the most in that aspect. So we believe that Doug DeMuro is another candidate for our influencers. Lastly, we have Supercar Blondie. She has one of the most highest following in YouTube influencers with 9.13 million subscribers. Now, she is one to be traveling all the time, so she has an international fan base, and they will know about Peugeot. So once that US market has Peugeot, this will hit the news and be something that content creators will love to hit on. So we believe that Supercar Blondie is going to be one of those people that is super beneficial for Peugeot, because we will have interesting European cars coming into the US, and Supercar Blondie is going to make it very, very fun, exciting, and reach a mass global network, creating tons of reach and engagement for our branding company. Next slide.
So moving on, here are some examples of our promotional campaigns Peugeot will be implementing in order to win over the American audience. As you can see here, we are advertising EV government incentives. We found owners of a hybrid or electric car get a federal tax credit of up to $7,500 for their purchase of an EV car. So that's what this campaign is about. Moving on. This promotion is if you buy Peugeot and then lose your job within a year, Peugeot will take back the car and absorb any losses in the car's value up to $7,500. This will reduce the risk of buying a car in the consumer's eyes and increase sales substantially. Lastly, this advertisement will make the customers feel like they're helping a cause bigger than themselves by addressing the impact electric vehicles have on the environment and on their wallets.
Okay, so for the financial overview, after accounting for the startup costs for dealerships, the free-to-move expansion, risk reduction incentive program, and all of the marketing expenses, our financial overview for Peugeot are as follows. In the first year, due to initial startup costs of about 22 million for dealerships, 15 million for free to move, and 500,000 for marketing expenses, our first year profit will be negative $15 million. However, the following years will continually turn a profit, with year 5 having a profit of $76 million due to decreased costs and increased revenue.
Here we have a 2-year timeline for what we believe would be best efficient for Peugeot. And so in 2023, quarter 1, Peugeot would begin building and advertising the brand for US consumers. Then in quarter 2, begin working on distribution and infrastructure. And in quarter 3, re-enter the US with the free to move. And then ending off the year in quarter 4, implement showrooms, maintenance workshops, and business offices in the US. And in 2024, quarter 1, we begin promoting EV and hybrid SUV lines, while in quarter 2, offer online customizing and ordering. And in quarter 3, analyze data and research in the market, as well as geographical locations So by quarter 4, we can expand established entities. For our risk and mitigations, for our first risk, we would, well, being a new brand in the US market, US consumers may not be enticed to purchase from a lesser known company while there are already other well-established competitors in the market. So in order to solve this issue, Peugeot could advertise the differentiation between Peugeot vehicles compared to other vehicles to others, while workers can also explain the pros as well as the variety of cars they have to offer. And Peugeot can also advertise previous reviews of their products from their current market in Europe and even offer test drives for customers in the US. And for our next risk, it would be the pricing of Peugeot products. Being lower priced than other brands in the market, American consumers would view the products as a sense of low quality. So, however, Peugeot employees as well as their marketing team can provide intriguing information about certain aspects of the car. This could be the materials being used or special features unique to each car. And Peugeot can also market how they provide great value due to how affordable their car is, as well as how reliable they are, as they're ranked 54% more reliable than the industry standard in 2019 from a reliability survey carried out by JD Power. And lastly, with Peugeot's premier policy, offering buyouts could risk the financial depletion of the company, but this also builds a sense of brand loyalty and security with customers while also offering something that other car companies do not. Thank you for listening.